How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. It has been a little bit, but give me a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and share this link around or whatever, and I'll be right with you guys. Alright, that took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. But anyway, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. It's been, what, 3-4 days? I've been trying my best to kind of get as much as I could get done. Um, and I was basically successful with that. I was trying to draw all these different comic book pages to like finish up the end of this chapter, and I basically did that. Got everything where I needed it to be, and I drew the last page. It's funny because I always end up adding another freaking page, which makes my work last longer. But I wasn't happy with kind of where things kind of ended, so I wanted to make it a little better. So I ended up extending it a little bit by one page. But I like where it is. There's still some tone work to basically do, because again, I was really only thinking about being able to like draw all these things and add like the line work details and all the other things. Toning for me is usually a very fast process unless I'm trying to do a lot in the detail department. Like I'm trying to add a lot more mood and atmosphere to the scene. If I'm not doing that, then I can just quickly move through each page. Um, so yeah. I still want to do something interesting for these, but not too interesting. It's either I'm gonna leave them somewhat. Here's what I'm thinking. Right. I'm basically thinking I should create another layer, and then just drop the opacity down to like maybe 70%, something like that. And then I can use the same values that I would usually use on these characters. Um, and it'll be like a previous image type thing. It's either that or maybe creating some sort of movement, some movement lines to make sure that I can see everything. Hello, Flying Chicken Comics. Oh crap, that looks awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I'm thinking something like that. But we'll see. So, but yeah, really happy to finally have made that goal. My goal is still to try and get 10 chapters done this year. So I will be counting this one as one when I'm completely, I guess, done with it. This is not completely done. I have to still go through and, like I said, finish up the tone, which shouldn't take too long. I feel like I can get the tone to a good enough place tonight, and then probably make another round towards it, like another pass, at a later point in time. Sometimes, letting time pass a little bit will allow you to see things in a different perspective. Along with like finishing up sound effects and dialogue, I definitely have to make sure that I get that stuff done a certain way as well. So I believe this one is, I can just literally do that. Yeah, it does come in a little lighter, so depends on how I wanna do that, but I think I can get away with this idea that I have. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was really difficult. It's running out of energy at different points. Because I was I was inking like 4 pages that day. Um, and then I eventually was like getting really tired, so I was like, okay, well, what I need to prioritize is doing like really broad work, because doing like detail work, it gets very monotonous, I guess. You got to get in there, you got to zoom in, you got to do all these different things, and it's detail work, right? But whereas though when you do like broad stuff, you like do big shapes, you can do that even at low energy. Um, so I'm always trying to maintain a certain level of like basics, I guess. And even when I'm drawing something too complicated, I try to still kind of keep it as near to the basics as possible, because I know that you don't have to overdo it. You can kind of keep things pretty basic and they'll work. They'll still work. But sometimes we get really lost in details. Even I consistently have to fight myself and go like, you don't have to do that. It already works. Um, like right now, I'm like, does this work? I have to always check. I never completely know, but sometimes you just do. You just know. Like I want him to be, moving forward here, so I could erase out from here. And always check my work from a distance, because again, I mean, really think about it. These comics are going to be read on what, a phone, or at least they have to be able to be, read on a phone. So you got to kind of think about that as you're creating. So even if you do want to add details, you still want to try and zoom out to make sure that those details work from a distance. Uh-huh. Okay, something like that. I see I also have something going on with ground here. Another thing that I've kind of, like, at some point I was like, man, I don't really want to use tone, because every time I try to print my comic pages through a printer, the tone never comes out looking right. And it's not even about a moire pattern. It's about like it being inconsistent, you know? And it could be on my end, because some of these pages are really old that I've worked on. And it could also be on the printer's end. It could be it could be another problem where I don't have my pages set up in the right file format. But like, you don't have to worry about any of these things if you just go and do grayscale. So it just makes me think about like, maybe I just want to do grayscale. And then I'm like, it's either one or the other. I'm either going to try and get a look where I'm going to use texture on my pages. On like every page, I'm going to try and force some sort of texture there. It's going to be like a subtle thing. Um, that way, when you look at the grayscale or whatever on the image, it won't look so flat. Or I'm going to figure out how tone works at some point. So that's it's got to happen. I kind of do. I would love to figure out the tone stuff, but I know it's unnecessary at the same time. The only, I would say, like, not the only, but it comes with a certain look, right? It comes with a certain look, certain texture. But, like, it does have some sort of cost effectiveness to it. Whereas, though, since you're not using completely gray and you're using these small dots that give you the illusion of gray, you, I guess, save money on printing, possibly. But from what I've seen, maybe I need to check again. From the prints I've been seeing, it's either, you printing your book in color or you printing your book in grayscale. So like, there's no, hey, I'm not printing grayscale either. I'm only printing black and white, so I get like, I don't have to pay as much money. There's usually only two options. So I don't really know if that applies. That type of discount is gonna apply to me. Be dope if it did. Something it'd be something extra to think about, but it's not like that for me, or at least the printer I've chosen to go to or go through. All right, go ahead and you guys remember those old school fighting games? Actually, not yet. The old school fighting games with the sprites. Um, I kind of have this thing where it's like, if I'm doing something like simple, like a more narrative focused moment, where it's not a serious moment, I kind of go with like an oval uh, as a shadow. I just think it's fun, and also it works well enough. It doesn't have to look exactly like the shape of the character above, you kind of get it. Um, I don't know, and it keeps it fun and engaging for me as well because it's not just one thing all the time. I can switch it up, and then it just makes it more interactive in a way. Let me see. Can I finally use the fill tool? Nope. Something else I learned. Oh yeah, as well. On this page or a couple of these pages, I'm using like pencil, but I've kind of darkened them by just duplicating them. But I've noticed that like sometimes when you use pencil, the fill tool doesn't fill properly. Maybe that's because of the roughness, the texture in the pencil. Maybe there's little holes in it or something, but it it kind of goes out sometimes, but it's cool. We got other tools, we got other ways to use things. Alright, works enough. I do the same thing underneath here, except they should, should probably be a little bit darker because they're closer to it. So we'll try that. And it's on a different layer. Nope, it's on that layer. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna have to eventually force myself to stop working on this and work on some other projects as well, because I don't know, working on comics is pretty addictive. It's very fun. And there's just a lot of hats to wear, which is why sometimes projects can kind of take a certain amount of time, because there's just so much to do. Let's try. Yay! All right. But I kind of also want to do some illustration work here and there, set myself up to be able to receive some commissions as well. I think that'd be pretty good, pretty fun as well. It's been a while. I've only really done illustrations for like my friends or my loved ones recently. I've not been uh, even painting much. Also enjoy painting, but I'm glad to be able to just share what I can do with my friends. It's been nice to do that. Sometimes I don't know, sometimes I forget to do that more often. But yeah. So this is going well. Let's see if we can use this fill tool. Of course it went out on the end there, but it's cool. Cool. We can always come back and tweak that if we want to, but again, most of it works. Basically what I've been doing most of the day, just kind of zooming in and cutting out value and stuff like that. I'm also gonna be coming back here and there and making sure that certain things like expressions read very well, because I know faces are always gonna be a big deal with any characters. So I want to make sure that from a distance you can kind of tell uh, how the characters are expressing themselves. So I'll be doing adjustments for that for everything, because I don't want their expressions to be getting lost. I often just zoom out and be like, okay, can I tell? Like if it's like this small, it's around here or like there or whatever, like right here, I would say Let me see. Where's my phone? uh, so yeah, I would say, mm, yeah, about this size, around like 50% or so. That's about, you know, screen size when you're thinking about like the active area in the I don't know if you guys can see this square, but this is like the active area here, inside this rectangle. If like that's like that phone screen size basically, around like 50% for this page in particular. If everything reads well there, then I know I'm fine. That's how I check everything. So um, that's what I try and uphold myself to. Like, hey, we gotta make sure that everything reads from a distance around there. If it does, great. If it doesn't, gotta fix it. All right, here I need to add skin color, skin tone. There's definitely a few drawings I need to update as well. I got some tips on a while ago. It's pretty fun as well, thinking about how this chapter for me is like the end of volume 2, which people are like, what? You're already that far? Yeah. Um, Technically been working on this for what, like 10 years? But wish I was further, but you know, I can't really dwell on stuff like that. I am where I am, and I'm gonna enjoy the progress that I've made. Wow, this heater actually warmed up this room pretty quickly. But yeah. So after this, I get to come up with some new storyboards based off of things that I already have written down, and that's gonna be fun. I always feel like the storyboarding phase is like my favorite phase, kinda. Everything else feels like, how you say, like for me, storyboarding is like truly making a comic, right? To me, when you sit down, you come with your ideas, you come with your scripts or whatever, and then you go, okay, what do I want that to happen on the imaging front, And you quickly jot down or sketch down these little stick figures or figures in general, and then you do like pseudo composition. Yo, this is where I want the building to be. This is how far away I want it to be from the camera. When you come up with all that stuff, like to me, that's comics. Everything else is like, okay, now I'm gonna prove that I can draw a good figure. I'm gonna prove that I can draw, this background and make it look cool. Um, but without all the work you did before, none of that stuff really works. It's just a bunch of nice looking images, you know, well drawn images, separated, but they don't work well probably for storytelling purposes. It's all a bunch of design, layout design and stuff. Where are you gonna place the word bubbles? How are you gonna get someone to move from that panel to the other one? It's just really fun for me to think about that type of stuff. It's like a little puzzle. And then everything else is just, all right. Now I gotta draw in the characters and draw everything in where it's supposed to be. And usually in the early stages, you want to catch as many tangents as possible. And then after that, you want to work your way away from all the possible tangents you could have while you're actually drawing in what the characters are gonna be like and look like, and all their added, props and things of that nature. So there's something that's funny I thought about. I like zoomed in and was like, oh look, I didn't even finish my Keem's hair, and even his outfit here. I kind of just drew a figure. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be fun. I have to get back in there and do. It's the right one, yeah. Kind of wish that this pencil was a little bit thinner, but usually, well, when this pencil gets thinner, it feels like it loses a bit of itself. It kind of becomes a little bit more uh, rough, and I kind of would like it to be a little bit just smaller in general. But it kind of doesn't feel right once it gets that small. Hmm. Okay, I didn't notice that. Anyone reading any comics recently? I've been I've been trying to study more artists when I get the chance. Just kind of sit down and look at the skill and technique behind certain ways that they kind of use their art to describe a scene. Um, One of the artists I've recently been checking out is Jaime Hernandez, um, who I believe primarily has been working on this series Love and Rockets with his other family members, his brothers. Um, but his for me his art style kind of sticks out a bit. He has like very sophisticated line work. Like it's like simple. It's a simple design, but the line work for it is also like really nice, and things are basically all put in their place. He has like this way in which he goes about storytelling where it's like you are either in the room with these characters or the camera's just right out of reach of these characters, and he doesn't over dramatize things. Has a very much like natural feel to it, I guess. Um, Excuse me, alarms for some reason. Actually, should cancel that alarm. Kind of sucks. Like it doesn't do anything. It's not for anything. But I told my wife that that's my tapping alarm, even though I don't play it very often anymore. But she was like, "Is that what it's for?" I was like, "Actually, no. I don't know why I still have that alarm." But but yeah, love that guy's work so far. Um, I like that the people he draw the people he draws feel natural. They feel like real people somewhat. The things and situations they go through and talk about seem realistic. Um, and I like that aspect to it, I guess. Um, I really like how he'll be like, okay, this person will have. I guess I'm really looking at it as a designer. I'm looking at the choices he's using, he's making, where he's like designing hair or designing an outfit, and then he'll go, okay, now I'm gonna put this character directly in front of a black background, and they still read well. Like you, they don't really get lost in that, and if they do, it's just a lost edge. So most of the other part of what they're wearing still distinguishes them from the background, so they never completely get lost in that as a design. I think that's awesome. So I guess over time, the thing I'm probably gonna be mostly interested in is like using less stuff, right? It's like I want to have a lot of different techniques and know-how, but I also want to find a way to use less. Because if I can use less and get a lot more from it, then I can have a more streamlined work process, and that'd be great. And it wouldn't even be necessarily about speed. It would be more about like it's about like creating something that you kind of just know what to do or what's going to come from this. And as the person reading the book, you also get used to that idea as well. Like, oh snap, like uh drama in a conversation, you even if you don't clock it, even if you don't realize it, you get used to the different visual effects you're used to seeing there. Um so it just becomes a part of something you're used to, like a visual language. And I guess over time I'm building it right now, but it's just not as streamlined as I would like it to be, even though I'm always still trying to streamline it. It could be better. And getting there. I know I would like to also play around with some lighting in here, but not too much, because again, that's what we try not to do so much. But the idea would be that there's a lot more light outside. Um, so at first we would have like some like small amount of tone here, and then we have most of the light coming in from outside. So it basically would be something like this. So you just do something like that, and then you could erase out with the light. Um, Something like that, and see if my whatchamacallit works. I'll be using more tools here, but it's cool. So something like this, and I kind of would be able to kind of move more things back in place, the same value, and then I'd also be able to do stuff like this. So be able to bounce the light up the form here. And yeah. What else can we do? Same thing here. Basically, it's the idea. Trying to keep things a little subtle here and there, but yeah, this type of thing. Um, and of course, we could apply a little bit more lighting, maybe just some softer lighting coming from the ceiling. And we can allude to that with like an airbrush tool. And we could just go like here. Cool. And from there we can still just go ahead and erase out of different things. Cool. And I can even add a little bit more by grabbing like a texture tool here. I think I got something I could do. Oh. I'm often just going through each one of these, saying no or yeah. Friction. Actually, friction wouldn't be that. That doesn't really help that read better. So, nope. That takes away from scene. Anyway, that'll be good enough. It's kind of funny as well. I need to erase these out. Also think maybe a little small bit of, let me see something, yeah, a little bit of this. Actually don't know how well that works. But that is good enough for now. As far as the background in the room here, I'm not really sold on things too much just yet. So it's kind of like one of those, I'm gonna leave it and come back for it later. Alright, cool. Wait a minute, these aren't... Oh, I see what happened. So I haven't grabbed these and put these into a folder just yet. So this is 8 and this is 9. So what I'm going to do is going to combine these and put them into a folder. And then while they're in that folder, I'm just going to separate out everything. So I was doing it all on one sheet. And of course I didn't. Oh, just put this on multiply. So of course. There we go. Now I can just go ahead and cut and paste everything while everything is in a layer. And I believe it should give me a folder. Yeah. So just everything on that side, and this is everything on the other side. Cool. Okay, so this is the page 8. I can just go ahead and drop that in there. Wait a minute. That didn't work. Are you serious? Okay, well, we make mistakes. Oh, this is the one. Okay, it's that one. This is this. Open page 8. Slide this into it here. Alright, cool. Of course I have text over there. That's funny. Alright. Was that page 8 and 9? 6 and 7 should already be done. Right. I see. So I have some layers here that I wanted to like add their shoes here. Everything in red. Cool, I can do that. Go ahead and what's it gonna do? Hue saturation. And then I can just go underneath of that and just add white. I will pop it forward. Over top of the other things. It's kind of rough though. Still like these panels. I don't think I'll be touching them too much here and there. Like I think they work already pretty well. Samara's kind of getting lost over here. Just a little bit. Yeah, I should probably erase out everything over here. it works a bit better. I have to also add text to the card. Still like this layout. This effect here is getting kind of scrunched up. Need to do something about that. What does that feel? Oh, I was about to say, what is that? Yep, reads a lot better. And of course I remember that I gave him a certain type of socks, which I'm trying to be consistent with, so gotta give him those certain type of socks. I forget which sock company this would actually be right now, but whatever those ones are, with where the toes have like that darker area in the front. I forget which company does that, but those ones. It's another thing. Let's see something here. What layer am I on? Okay. Which layer has these lines? Okay. Definitely need to, or I want to grab these ones in particular so that I can make sure that this drawing itself should feel darker. Still doesn't feel that dark. It's weird. Unless it's not sure this is the right layer. Actually, no. It actually does seem darker. Let's see here. Make this red, and then I'll be able to just this layer, which okay. No. Okay. So maybe it is working. I'm just not thinking it's working. But if that's not it, then I have another layer. Okay. This is probably unnecessary at this point. Got all these ones. I think the only thing I really want to do with that now is use like a thicker line on it so that I can kind of just really push it past where it is now. It's like it's good, but it could be a little bit better than that. Yeah, just make it blue or something. Why? Just to be able to see it. Just gonna try and push it a little bit past where it is. That way it really sticks out. Alright, and I probably should push the hand a little bit further, even more. So, we got some good curves here. I'm gonna try. What just happened? What happened to my blue? Okay. Curves here. And it's trying to make these kind of work even better. Alright. Actually, for the most part, right there, that's fine. Alright, now I should be able to do this. It definitely makes it literally come forward, and that works a lot better for it. You kind of get the illusion of space. I don't know, depth. There we go. All right. I see that I didn't do his eyebrows here as well. As small of a detail as that is. I'm also thinking of doing the eyes, because I gotta look through the older chapter or the older pages, but I don't remember if I toned his eyes or not. Let's see here. I do not. Oh, I only tone his eyes when I'm doing detail work. I see. And it usually involves a pupil. But for the most part, I don't detail his eyes. It's because it's really easy to just start wanting to tone everything. And I think I was trying to be like, yo, we don't need to keep adding all these details, you know? So maybe save yourself essentially and not add all these details here because we already have a bunch of things to do. Bunch of things to worry about and stuff. So let's maybe not do all of that. I don't remember what this is, but I'm gonna use it. So this is what I mean by like when I'm zooming out and I see the expression can read a little better. I see that line. Let me see, undo. See how like close that line is from like a distance? It kind of messes up the eye a little bit. So it looks too close because it is. There's hardly any space there. So what I'll do is I'll just go through and erase a little bit. And then that just helps it read a lot better. And it does make a lot of sense. I have a little bit less control when it comes to the pencil line and how much texture it kind of has on it. And like how thick that line ends up becoming versus the pen, which I usually use to do most of the line work. Alright, cool. I think most of them work on this page. Pretty happy with those. I think most of these earlier pages, they got done and I probably polished them a little bit, so they're a little further along. This is 4-5. Yeah. I just have to add in dialogue and things of that nature, but they're definitely a bit further along when it comes to a lot of things. Like this looks a little bit too flat here. That's what I would change immediately. Yeah. So I would go. I think I had a hard time with this page as well. So I was trying to do. I was trying to figure out how to just make it work, and it just didn't work until I got it to a certain other place. But yeah, I would go like here, go around. Something like that. And just by doing that, it just looks a little bit more three-dimensional of an object that he's wearing. So that's cool. I did like the line weights I have down. They're not really thin here, except for like the bed or whatever. And I like the shadows. They're fine. Wish I could make it look more comfortable, I guess. Like I'm not that great with like what is it called? Drapery and things of that nature, but over time I will get better. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Just gotta add in, like I said, some actual dialogue, like typed out dialogue on there. And for the most part, yeah, I like my little stuff that I was doing. I see something that's missing now. Actually, I need to add the shoes that I added from the previous. Well, that I added in the next pages over. Need to add those. So as I can see from this view, his shoes. Well, then again, you wouldn't be able to see them if the angle is like that. So if his shoes are right there, right, and then Halo shoes are thrown over there. Alright, let's see, would I be able to see them? Yes, I would be able to see my Kingdom shoes right around there. So I need to kind of sketch that in at least, so I can come back to it and add it in later. I mean, technically, I should be able to see Halo shoes too. It's just gonna be thrown somewhere off to the side. What I remember, this dude's shoes should be kind of like over here. One of them like on their side completely. Am I tripping? Yo, what layer am I on? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh no, it's on. Okay, I get it. It's on a layer from a different page. That's what it is. Yes, that's. Yep. Right, so one's in. Okay, that's totally in a different order. That looks confusing now. Okay, well. So one is standing looking towards the left, and the other one is laying down with the foot up. Okay, we're gonna try and remember that. Of course. All right. So yeah, need to add those in there, and that'll be imagery wise done there. What else do we need to do? Just kind of looking over everything to make sure that things are getting closer to being done. We have these two pages here, which I don't think I need to add much of anything. Maybe, honestly, some details here and there as we come closer, in like this panel here, to this wall this guy's standing in front of. Other than that, other than those types of details, I think I can kind of leave it alone. Again, same type of deal. Some small details here and there on the wall. Maybe a little detail of this guy's ear here, which I guess I struggled with this one. I don't always remember everything you struggle with, honestly. Yeah, and then for the most part, I think that this works already pretty decently well. Yeah, And then of course page 1, which again works well enough with what we were doing. So yeah, let's go from, where were we? 8, 9. It's 9. Okay, this is 10, 11. Yeah. I would like to probably go through and fix up some things as far as the background goes, because it needs to be more readable. I'm actually still not done that. I have to go through and like add in some tone or some. I have to add in black because it's becoming, or it becomes essentially nighttime. So I have to adjust this panel to be a little bit lighter as they go, and then as the scene transitions from about here to there, we're gonna get a full nighttime thing going on. So things are gonna get darker. So I was a little bit lazy here because I didn't completely erase this out either. That's strange. Not usually like that. So I was in a rush or tired today, which I did say I was. Gotta come back and fix up this arm as well. Got some guidance from some peeps. And I think I tried to sketch it out a bit. Wasn't happy with it, so I kind of just stopped and moved on, but I gotta go back to it and fix that. Still like what I have here. I actually do have to color in the inside of this cloak, because the inside of the cloak is supposed to be, it's supposed to be this color. Let me see something. So if you take off a cloak, you throw it. I mean, technically, wouldn't, because right now I'm like, okay, he threw it, but it's like showing you the inside of it. But how would that work, right? If he throws it, so it depends on how he throws it, I guess. If he throws it, you could see. I mean, it's. I guess you could say if he throws it. Let me see if he takes it off. I'm really trying to figure this out. If he takes it off and throws it or whatever, maybe when he throws it, it could like the wind could hit it and then it would like open up a certain way or something. So I guess we'd be looking at the top of it, but how that makes sense? Because in my opinion, when you throw it, you're gonna be looking at the bottom of it, and if you're looking at the bottom of it and it opens up like this, then you'd see the inside of it. Whichever one's more interesting, I guess. I have Samara kind of jumping from the other side because, of course, she was on the shoulder, so that already kind of makes sense to me that this is the inside of the jacket or cloak, and she is jumping from the shoulder area where she usually sits. Um, so so yeah, have to come back and fix that arm. Probably have to adjust some values here. Like, look at this. This is some things aren't adjusted just yet, because they're on their own layer. So I need to duplicate, and I'm gonna duplicate it again. It's better. Then I can just combine these two, and that can work. Thinking I'm probably gonna end up starting to add those things to his eyes, but I also don't think I want to. It's a weird feeling, just trying to figure out what I want it to be. Why did I do that? Here. I definitely think some teeth are missing here as well. Like he's all like, yeah, but like, there's no teeth. What's going on? That's not even like completely correct, but it's already looks better than like not having any teeth in there. Oh man. Look at this dude. He's so excited. You gotta stop adding lines. Yeah, we just leave that like that. Alright. That looks a little better. Okay. What else can I do here? That is funny. It's funny because it was like a good one, but like it didn't matter. Kinda. Okay. We'll go with that. Alright. That's fun. I like that. Whoa. What button did I just press? Okay, anywho. Yeah, like that effect on the hair there. Looks cool. I have a lot of layers. So here's 12 and 13. I'm not completely sold on page 2 or 13 and panel 2 there. It's just not completely what I want it to be. But everything else I kind of sort of like. I'm probably going to be playing with the values here and there on certain panels. But for the most part, I kind of like a bit of it. How does this look on you guys' screen? Let me see here. Yeah. But yeah, this joint, which if I take it back to like 100%, that's what that looks like. Kind of playing with the tone effect here. I usually don't mess around with the tone stuff anymore. I just kind of go with values because it's clearer. I don't have to think about, problems if I tried to print it. But every now and then I try to throw in something like that, some tone or whatever. But yeah, like the way this joint came out. Looks pretty cool to me. It's missing some things here and there, but it's for the most part done. I like these ones here. I'm always trying to keep up a certain amount of energy. I definitely think I want to have like something dark underneath. I mean, at the top, kind of like. Let's see here. Which one of these are we on? Got a 13 here, and I'm thinking of essentially something like this. So if have to, right? But if I had something like this going on, and I have like maybe this value, and I go ahead and do something like that, I can then start highlighting what's happening with the hands here exclusively. So I could just be like, yo, like, pay attention to this, right? So I could do something like that. Same thing here with her arm. Here. That didn't work. Why do I keep going out there? Must be type of line weight I have there. Essentially highlighting certain parts of all that. Of course, I can pull that back a little bit so that things are still readable. Maybe something like that. And then I'll probably have some what are they called? Probably have some thought bubbles or whatever. actually like just keeping them in the dark there a little bit. I like the idea. Maybe I'll just erase out a bit more. That way it won't be so crazy. Well, that's not what I completely wanted, but it's not working. We'll take that. We'll go with sure. Something like that, right? Maybe 85. Alright. Something like that. I think that looks cool. Still some more experimentation to do. Oh yeah, this is funny. So I drew like this as a stand-in. And I gotta definitely go back and like draw in the other characters, but I also think it's funny that that's the stand-in, because it eventually just changes into this anyway. So I think it's funny, but it's just me being tired. Drawing small characters consistently can be a bit tiresome, even if they're small. Actually, because they're small, they kind of almost have to like be not perfect, but they have to have like a different extra quality to them that makes them kind of fun to like look at and stuff. They just have to work a certain different type of way. But yeah, I'll come back to this page again. Doing some small edits here and there. And also showing you guys the work that I was able to do. I think you guys have seen most of this stuff. Yeah. So here is this page. Really happy with how that kick turned out. Kind of reminiscent of my chapter 1 kick, where he kind of does a spin. But then he does like a different type of kick, I believe. But anyway, yeah, like the energy and everything there. It's a little bit of details here and there, but for the most part, I try to keep everything kind of centered and focused on the certain action that I want to happen. Yeah, I like this page. Over here, try to do something else and do like the 1, 2, 3 joint, you know. I like that. I like that a lot. Try to make it as readable as possible with like the direction I want it to go in. Use this a bit. This dialogue is changing. This is not going to be the dialogue any longer. It's going to be something quick. And whatnot. I'm probably going to change this expression just a little bit too, like for fun. And then she's going to get kicked mid-sentence. And that's kind of why I have these two set up right here, right? I was about to say bar line, like rap music, which is funny, but I kind of have this idea in my head about, like I said, like I love playing with like composition and stuff like that. Definitely with comics, like layout and stuff. It's like my favorite thing. And you know, it'd be funny to show you guys. Actually, I would have to drag it out of the so yeah, I can do that. So here's so here's what this page is supposed to look like as far as like my my thumbnails. So like this is what this was, and notice, you know, all I did was kind of you guys can't see my cursor, kind of indicate yo, like I want this type of action, there's like some little circular joints, and then there's, I could see that like, yo, this is a person, and they're like, their legs are like this, and I was like, oh, okay, like I kind of get what I want to happen there, but I was like, it's not good enough. So that's why I ended up doing what I've done, and it kind of has like this arc thing going on, which I like because, hey, look at that. To me, what happens is instead of you going back here, like usually, if we're going right to left, I get to play with that now, right? Because now we're going right to left, and then we're here already, and we get the point, and then we get the dialogue. So I've kind of changed it, going right to left and down, and then we go left to right, and then we go right to left again, because we get this interruption that happens here, which I'm probably going to put a sound effect probably right here, or maybe him saying something, interrupting her talking right here. Let me see, does that even line up? Something like that, right? Should I put a little, I'll probably put it a little bit, could I leave that there? I could probably leave that there. Let's see here. Wait, where'd it go? Wrong thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna just, boom, right? I'll probably put this like right here. So that way she says what she says, then she gets cut off by him. He says what he says. And then we see, we get this action here going on, right? And then I put these little lines here, representing where her head's going. So it's like this, and then she's gonna do like a roll, and we already know that she, we already can tell from the previous panel, she kind of can hit the ground and bounce back up already. So I'm kind of indicating that type of thing there, and I'm also trying to make sure that that's what these lines are for, honestly. Oh, turn that off. These lines are kind of to make sure that no one else showed up and like took her place. That was another thing I was worried about with this scene, because you could think, hey, this is her right now, and this is someone else coming in, right? And I didn't want you to think that. So I kind of let these lines kind of work that way, so that you kind of get the gist that she's running in. So same character, right? I could do a little better, but I'm probably going to play with some smoke here to let you know, hey, this is her, or whatever, but it's still her. Now I got this little effect going on here, which I repeat, 1, 2, right? So you get 2 of those, and now we have an anticipation, right? Probably going to have, and that's another thing I'm also playing with, right? Again, we went right to left, and then we're going left to right, and then we're going right to left, then we're going left to right again. I just think it's fun. And now we end up with his thoughts, And I think the reason I think I understand how it works is because if you go right to left, right, and let's zoom in the panel, of course my tool changed. If we're going like right to left and the panel is like perfectly straight like this, okay, cool, understandable, right? Okay, I go right to left, right, and then I go right to left again, right? Because there's no easy access to the next one. But if you put something there, like, this is why like these panels get awkward, right? If you put something here, if you put a panel here, now I know I'm supposed to go right to left, but if you put something like, let's say someone's flying, right? Or whatever, right? Someone flew from here to there. That's why that's not good, right? Because your brain is going to look at that line. You're going to go right to left, And you know the rule. You're supposed to go down and then right to left again, right? And it's like, but there's this awesome line that just makes me want to go here to here instead, right? I mean, technically I'm going right to left, but if that's not what's planned and you wanted me to go right to left and then down to here, oh man, like you shouldn't put such a good line there that kind of forces my mind to want to go over there. So that's what I'm essentially doing that. I'm essentially doing that exact thing on purpose. I'm also doing this other thing where I have tilted panels, right? So my panels are doing this. So I'm already doing that. You land here, and then there's that character who landed there is right there. And that downward action kind of wants you to go down. And then there's a face there. And then the face is pointing. I mean, not the face is pointing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The face is looking in this direction, which usually you want to look in the direction the character is looking. And then she's pointing in that direction. So it's extra like go over here, and then we get a bubble. And then that bubble gets interrupted. So you go down. And then you get an action that goes over. And then you get an action that goes all like this. And then it's a character who's coming back this way. So then, well, where do I go now? Well, there's another one down here. Anticipation. And now we have both the characters here and here. And closer together here. So yeah, I'm kind of intentionally playing with that. I think it's fun. Right? I just think it's fun. It's just fun. I don't need to erase that. It's on the layer. Get rid of that. I really love comics, man. Comics are awesome. I need to read more. I need to read more comics, actually. I haven't been reading a lot of comics. I just started ElfQuest because I heard that the creators at some point put some of the first comics or most of the story up on their own website, which I think is great. I would love to eventually have my own website and post up PDFs for people to download or open up and read there. Their site is not like high. I wouldn't say that. It's not like high maintenance. I would say it's very simple. It's very easy to go to. It has a directory. You go there. You go, okay, I want to check out the first quest or the first chapter or whatever it is, and you open it up and you just start reading. I think that's great. There's no like, from what I saw from where you can start reading, there's no like comment section per se, but I just like the idea of being able to just have your website, be able to see how many people are coming through, have all this stuff for free, and just they come through and read it if they want to. That's just great. It's fantastic. But yeah, started reading ElfQuest. I finished chapter 1 recently, and I want to reread the last part again because I feel like I was a little tired reading the exact last part with the trolls. But I want to read that part again before I go forward. Characters are cool so far. Interested in seeing how this journey plays out and how, these characters who already have like all these people to take care of at the start of their journey, like how's that going to play out? Like that might be pretty rough. I don't know. But yeah, started reading that. I would love to check out Bone one day, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. Just haven't. I saw it in a local comic book store for a decent amount, but I'm like, yo, if this is the whole story, I'd buy it. Like, I looked on Amazon eventually and was like, okay, I could also buy this. I would love to also buy this in black and white. So if I can find it in black and white and I got the money for it, I'm definitely copping that. What else would I like to show you guys? Right, so I can put this back into this here. And I'll even put this little thing in here for fun. Alright, so this and that. And then we have these two. So these are a little bit rough, right? I have some erasing out to do of these punches that I want to happen here, but I kind of got the effect that I wanted, so I just moved on and ran from it. It's like my new thing. Like if I get far enough on a page and I feel like it's just good enough and I can come back and easily do some quick edits, I'm like, all right, I'm running from the page. But I kind of put some extra detail um on this page. If I would turn off this effect here, you can kind of see I kind of did a little bit of rendering, just a small amount, because I knew that the attention would be on the face and stuff like that, and the muscles and stuff. So I got some erasing out to do. And the squares that you see here are usually how I indicate where my sound effects are gonna go. So that's where that's gonna be. I like these two panels. I think they are simple and they work well. Wish that the second panel read a little better for what I want to have happen, but you know, can't do everything perfectly the first time. Yeah. I like the third panel. That effect I've also never drawn before, but I kind of remembered it and was like, ooh, that'd be cool to draw. So I did that. Line work here is a little bit rough on Halo here. I'm probably going to redraw that face a little bit because it could look a little better. And it's not that it doesn't work for what I want it to be. I just feel like it could be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, along with still making it what I want it to be. But over here, I like the paneling I have going on. The composition is going to be some breathing joints on the next to her face here. Gonna have some dialogue here, some extra detail. I need to erase out of the black here and create the, what do they call it, the belt loops or the pant loops. I need to finish drawing the face and the other face of the characters and change the pose of this one. This one I was just completely run out of energy here. But yeah, and same thing here. You know, small drawings in perspective or a doozy, whatever you want to call it. I like her face here. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And I believe the last page here is this, and I need to move that. But I let him take up the whole page here. And this is, let's see, make sure it's on y'all's screen properly. This is the last page here. I think I did a good job with the last page. I like the line weights, like the values. I kind of like the little Kubo-isms that I kind of add in there. I think they're kind of Kubo-isms. I'm not even like a really big Bleach fan. I just know a little bit about Bleach. But one day I will check out more Bleach, and I'll see how that goes. But yeah, I like how this page goes. It has a little bit more detail than usual, cause that's kind of like my own metrics. Like for me, I'm like I kind of pick and choose where the best moments would be to add all the extra detail there. And even if I do add a lot of detail, it shouldn't take me forever to complete the page. Definitely a splash page like this one. So I went ahead and you know, set things up a certain way and just kind of did it. I really like the energy that I still have in my lines. I like the shape, the overall shape that things ended up becoming, and I like the composition of everything too. So yeah, I like this page a lot. This is like my version of like, I don't know, an amalgamation of all the different stuff that I like, I guess. I can see a bunch of different ideas. I can see, you know, some Bleach. I can see some Yusuke Murata in here. I can see some Hiroyuki Takei in here. I can see a lot of different things in this one. But it's all me at the end of the day. But yeah. So this is where, yeah, it's where I got to. Kind of zoom in a little bit. This is where I got to, whatever. I yeah, I'm just happy I got as far as I did. Honestly, it's just nice. It's just nice. Um, hmm. So this is gonna be. So I really have to force myself to stop working on comic pages in order to get back to doing like Patreon and stuff. So that's a thing I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna probably work on this for like maybe a day or two, maybe a day. I'll just say a day, not 2 days, just a day, and then I'll be able to um, get on line and be like, okay, let me schedule all the free updates for everybody to check out the comic. If you guys don't know, I work on this comic called The Divinity. It is basically a manga. It reads from right to left. Um, One moment. Oh, cool, cool. It reads from right to left. It's an action battle. Uh, that's the same thing. It's an action adventure comic. And you can read it for free at the moment on Webtoon and Tapas. Um, unless you're completely caught up and you're waiting for me to put up new pages. I'm sorry. I'm going to be doing that. I'm scheduling, and I'll tell everybody. Please follow me on social media at Blue Sky. Follow me on Twitter. I'm still gonna call it Twitter. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Um, and shoot, follow me on YouTube as well. Follow me on Twitch. Right, I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube. If you guys are lurking, hey, how's it going? Please follow me or subscribe to me on YouTube. It means a lot. Still trying to do something on this channel. I still want to do videos, but right now I've been trying to just keep people updated on my comic and my art and stuff. So I chose to stream on YouTube and also Twitch. But I have a lot more traction, it seems, on YouTube. So yeah. Appreciate anybody who goes through and checks out this comic that I've basically been working on for like 10 years. Um, and this chapter should be, I believe, the end of volume 2. I have to recheck on that, but yeah, I think this could be the end of that's a chapter, volume 2, volume 2. Um, so yeah, if you guys like action, if you like adventure, if you like these little characters that I'm drawing and stuff like that, I appreciate it if you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also check the links that I have below to go check out the free comic the free comic pages that I've placed everywhere for you guys to read. And if you guys are feeling kind, you guys can also join my Patreon, where I will be posting more premium stuff, behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Storyboards will be coming, more high quality scans of inked work that I've drawn in the past will be up there for you guys to check out. How's it going, Coffee Arts? And there'll be like pencil drawings, there'll be inked work, and there'll be finished pages up there, and there'll also be pages that go further than obviously the free stuff that's available for everyone. High quality illustrations will be up there eventually, and I feel I'm forgetting something here along with this. Either way, you're gonna get a lot of behind the scenes stuff for the comic, and I very much appreciate it if you guys check all that stuff out. But that'll be the end of the stream for me. Thanks so much for everyone coming through and checking it out, and I'll see you guys. What is it? Saturday, right? So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace, everyone. Do I have tips for drawing hands? Yes. But you're not gonna like it, right? You have to, let me see. How can I? So you have to just get used to drawing them things. I am not that great at drawing them things, but you know, you gotta first of all you gotta get a mirror. Sometimes your hands are good for the job, and other times you're gonna have to get references and collect them. And then when you get used to drawing enough of those shapes, you'll get something close to that looks natural enough that when you draw, you'll be able to what is it called? Extrapolate on all the other hands you've drawn and how you understand how hands work. And then you'll also be able to apply not just what you see, but also how you relate that to what you want the drawing to feel like, right? Like, that's also really important because we got to go beyond our references. It's one thing to draw from reference. Yes, you should understand what you're looking at and you should study it. But once you get to that point, when you have to come up with something you don't probably have all the references for, you can only get but so close. So you have to then be able to manipulate the shapes you see of what the hand is supposed to be in your head and on the paper to the angle and the intensity or the dynamicness that you need it to be. You need it to be kind of pointing to the left or pointing towards the camera and all that good stuff. That's going to take a bit of time, just like you do with like trying to essentially draw a cool pose. There's certain angles that could get you a more dynamic pose, and then there's even more extreme, more dynamic angles, and you're only going to be able to really grab that stuff from your mind and put it on the paper when you've just done it so much that it just becomes almost second nature. And obviously when you can't get it, that's when you go, oh, I need to go get more references. you know it's difficult. I would also even say, yo, people trace. People trace. People take pictures of their hands or whatever else they need to draw. They pop it into the digital program. They manipulate it the way they need to manipulate it, and they trace right on top of it. Sometimes they don't even trace it perfectly because that wouldn't be akin to their actual style, the way they draw, because they don't draw in a more realistic way. So, yeah. No problem, coffee. I'll see you next time. Peace, everyone.